what I've learned over time is that our best teams, regardless of size, share certain characteristics. And one of those characteristics, and I think the most important one for us, were that our best players have been all in. On all 7 of those teams, those players would run through a wall for the good of Butler University. They were not about themselves. They would sacrifice in game situations for the good of their team, and they made us better as a whole. No matter if they would have been the most talented or not, they would have been an extremely valuable team member, but it just so happens that on each of those teams, that person was incredibly bought in. Another thing that each of those teams shared were, if we were undersized, the positions where we were undersized, which were usually the 2, and either the 4 or the 5. So you're talking about, really what you're usually talking about is we're playing 2 point guards, 2 threes, and a 5. That's a lot of times where that's our look. But the other thing is, when we were undersized, we had tough-minded guys at those spots. Guys that were willing to battle, guys that when you told A.J. Graves, who was our 6 foot, 155-pound 2 guard, that he had to guard a 6'8" guy, he took that as a challenge and he thought that was fun. He had that mindset about him. We were very fortunate again because we've had guys like that. We've had a lot of kids, and I know a lot of you are from the Midwest, that have grown up and been taught that teams and playing like this can overcome individual talent on paper. The third thing is that we had the ability to play make from a lot of spots. And so we were playing untraditional, but our 4s could usually put it on the floor and make plays for other people. And I think that's very important. And as we've gone further along in time, that's the kind of person that we look for at that spot. I think it puts people in a tough position, and it's made us better over the course of time. The fourth thing is defensive versatility, and I'm really going to get into this later, and I loved what Coach Willard was talking about. Because Coach Willard, when he was starting in zone, matching up, switching, doing all those things, talking about how he guards ball screens, they switch because they're going to trap the post regardless in a lot of circumstances. That's really good. Those are things that, to me, even it out a little bit when you're playing against the biggest and strongest players in the country. So you have defensive versatility. Our turnover margin has been something that we've emphasized. In fact, I think we've been in the top 10 in fewest turnovers, if not 7 of my 8 years at Butler, most of the 8 years at Butler. During those times, an interesting stat is that on our teams that have been to the Sweet 16, that have been to the NCAA tournament, most of the time we've been out-rebounded. Now, we're not trying to be out-rebounded. It's something that we work on, and we're trying to manage that. And when we're undersized, it's more about, hey, let's try to be even. And then let's turn it over a lot less than our opponent and get good shots, and hopefully we make the shots, and we've got skilled guys out on the floor to do so. But the fact of the matter is there are times where we're not going to be, from a physical stature, able to beat people to the ball, to do things above the rim like others. In fact, I was talking about the Dominator over here. I'm glad it adjusts, because if it didn't, we wouldn't be able to get anything like that because our guys can't jump that high. But it is something that over the course of time, again, what we're trying to do is, okay, this is who we are and this is who we're playing against. And as you get into the NCAA tournament, you play against Florida with Horford and Noah, and you play against Tennessee like we did this year with Chisholm and Smith, those guys might very well win the physical battle most of the time. So we've got to figure out a way to counter that to have a chance to play against them.